news broke that TheOdd1sOut, real name James Rison, allegedly fired his entire animation team. And not just fired them, he allegedly fired them without providing proper notice. If you don't know, he's the guy who animates relatable stories about his childhood or his time working at Subway and being generally awkward in social situations. The story kind of faded for a few weeks, as internet drama does, but recently it resurfaced when more animators from his team started speaking out about their situations. People got upset, and Twitter did what Twitter does, and James eventually posted a response clarifying what actually happened, which I'll get into in this video. The news initially came from an animator named TheOdd1sOut, who worked on backgrounds for the TheOdd1sOut channel. They posted a message in their Discord server announcing that the entire TheOdd1sOut team had been fired. So the entire TheOdd1sOut team has been fired, which means my main source of income is gone. As you all know, it's about to be the dreaded tax season and we're about to move, so I'll be doing commissions full time from here on out. I'd like to ask a big favor from y'all to please boost my coworkers' commissions to help support them as well. So tax season, moving, and unemployment, which if life were a video game, that's what we'd call a difficulty spike right before the final boss. Except the final boss is also your landlord. Immediately after posting this, TheOdd1sOut followed up asking people not to screenshot the post or share it online. And look, posting something to an entire Discord server full of extremely online people and then asking them to keep it private is a bit like announcing your secret in a crowded elevator and then asking everyone to pretend they did not hear it. The information was going to get out, and it did get out, so let's keep going. After the initial leak went viral, several other animators from James' team came forward to share their own experiences. Loveless Kia, who worked on the assets team, confirmed she lost her job abruptly. She mentioned she was the primary earner for her household and had been working 30 to 35 hours weekly for the channel. She described the layoff as pretty devastating. David Toons, who was on the 2D animation team, confirmed he was part of the layoffs, but he also said he's personally doing fine because he has other animation jobs lined up. Viscovania, another asset artist, said the team was dropped on a whim and that they're just as confused as the public about why it happened. According to them, there was no warning, no heads up, and nothing indicating this was coming. I should also note that they asked people to not harass James or anyone from the team, but because it's Twitter, that message fell on deaf ears. Now, David Toons clarified that he's not under any NDA, so the reason we're not getting detailed inside information isn't because of legal restrictions. It's because the team genuinely doesn't seem to know the full story themselves. Now, here's an important distinction. These animators were most likely freelance contractors, not full-time employees. And legally, those are very different situations. If you're a freelancer, your client is not obligated to keep hiring you forever. When the project ends or they decide not to renew, that's technically just the nature of contract work. It's not the same as being fired from a salaried position. Now here's my take that no one asked for. Business owners are allowed to let people go. If you can't afford to pay your staff anymore, or if your plans have changed, you're within your rights to downsize. It doesn't automatically make you a bad person. The issue that people seem to have isn't that James let people go. The issue is because of the alleged lack of notice. And that brings us to James' official response. There's been some discussion online about changes to my team, and I want to clear a few things up. We still have an animation team, and the artists working on future projects will continue to be credited in the videos they participate in making. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of really talented freelancers on a project-by-project basis, depending on the needs of the video. My team size has always fluctuated. Freelance creative work often shifts as projects evolve, and right now I'm working on scaling the team to focus on more condensed roles. Last year, despite having a sizable team, we only released 3 videos. This made it clear that I needed to seriously rework my production process. Look, I'm not an accountant, but even I can tell that math is rough. You can't sustain a big team if there's not enough work to justify it. Now, downsizing wasn't some malicious decision. It was probably the only financially responsible option. The alternative was what? keep paying everyone until the money runs out and then fire everybody anyway. Except now there's also no severance because you're broke. I think that would be worse. This was never a reflection of anyone's talent or the work they did. Many of these people helped build the channel, and I'm grateful for the time, creativity, and effort they put into the projects. This was not an easy thing to do. Here's where James' response gets interesting because he directly addresses how the layoffs were handled. I had one-on-one conversations with every artist involved and had face-to-face conversations with everyone locally. This was not some cold, insensitive breakup text. Now, if that's true, that's actually more effort than a lot of employers put in. I've heard of people finding out that they were laid off because their Slack access got revoked. At least the phone call involves human interaction. I provided severance packages to all full-time freelancers. That wasn't something I planned on sharing publicly, but since the situation was already brought online, I feel it's important that all the details are understood. Now, if you've done freelance work, you know that severance for contractors is not standard. It's not even expected. Most companies don't even offer it to their actual employees if they can avoid it. Freelancers usually get a "thanks for your work, good luck out there," and that's it. Now, if what James said is true, that's actually going above and beyond what's required. Sounds to me like that's someone trying to handle a crappy situation as decently as possible. It's been frustrating seeing the situation described online in a way that makes this feel or look hostile when I tried my best to make sure my artists were taken care of. Nothing about this was easy. Managing a large creative team comes with a lot of responsibility, and I tried my best to do right by the people I work closely with. I've also told many of them that I'm happy to serve as a reference for future opportunities because they're talented artists. It would be selfish for me to keep these artists on hold with no projects or consistent work coming their way, so I made a tough decision. I want nothing but what's best for my team. I apologize if this felt sudden. I was extremely hesitant to make the decision myself, but again, with no other jobs to offer at the time, this was the best way forward. I wish I could give work to every artist in the community, but realistically that just isn't possible. I've linked everyone's socials to this post with the social media / portfolios of the team from my last upload. Any and all other artists can be found in the end card of each of my videos. Now, he could have just posted "here's my side of the story" and moved on, but instead he actively tried to help them find new work. Now, looking at the comments under his post, the response was generally positive. A lot of people acknowledged it sounded like a difficult situation, handled reasonably well. Animator Pinkie Davis, who has worked with James before, posted a defense noting that the kind of consistency James provided to indie animators over the years is actually rare in the industry. And look, I can't verify every detail of James' account, but if what he said is true, if he really did have personal conversations with everyone, provided severance, and then this seems less like a scandal and more like a tough business decision handled about as well as it could have been. Anyway, yeah, I think this is a case where the internet saw YouTuber fires team and assumed the worst. Could things have been communicated better? Maybe, but based on what we know, this feels less like a scandal and more like a business situation that got amplified into drama rather than some kind of moral failure. I think it's best that we wait for the full story before we sharpen our pitchforks next time. Anyway, that's the TheOdd1sOut situation. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you're one of the animators affected, generally best of luck finding new work. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.